Do you find yourself saying yes to clients you don't enjoy working with, over-delivering until you're exhausted, or constantly worrying that setting boundaries makes you look unkind? Here's the truth. People-pleasing isn't kindness, it's survival mode. In this episode, we're unpacking how people-pleasing is rooted in the need for approval, how it leads to burnout in business, and how learning to say no isn't selfish, it's sustainable.
Hey, lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Boltz. I'm an attorney and founder of Boltz Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Boltz, owner of Boltz Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're Miss Biz, where we're putting the Miss in biz.
Let's get biz done.
People-pleasing is something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. It starts long before business ownership. It's actually the child who learned that love has conditions, the teen who realized that staying quiet kept the peace, and the adult who equates approval with safety. Research backs this up. In fact, psychologists estimate that up to 85% of people pleasers develop this behavior in response to early emotional neglect, criticism, or inconsistent affection. In business, this conditioning turns into chronic over-delivery, underpricing, and exhaustion, all in the name of keeping everyone happy.
But the truth is, you're not selfish for setting boundaries, you're sustainable. I think for me, people-pleasing came, I think I was born a people-pleaser in the sense that I really always wanted to have the approval of my parents. I remember my 5-year-old, when he was younger, would just always be seeking that affirmation that he was a good boy. Am I a good boy? Am I a good boy? And he just always wanted to know that he was a good boy. And so he was wanting that affirmation even at, 2 and 3 years old. And then I think where it gets the most intense in the adolescent journey is when you're like middle school age and you start being so concerned about your peers and what's cool and what's not cool, and you got to have this brand or you've got to have that or you're going to be made fun of. And so we just are so consumed with, I think a lot of people lose themselves in those adolescent years because they can't be true to who their actual personality is, and they're trying to be what's cool or what they think their peers will be attracted to.
I think there's also a fine line between serving and people-pleasing too, because I know growing up, even as a child, I really loved to serve others. I would ask my parents when I was young to go over to some of the widows' houses and play piano for them or help them clean or just spend time with them because seeing them smile made me happy. But I think that even that can kind of turn into that people-pleasing addiction where you just truly value others above your own, which is what you're supposed to do. But there also has to be those healthy boundaries in place where you're looking out for your own health as well.
Yeah. So people-pleasing is a learned survival strategy. When love or safety felt conditional, your brain adapted. If I make everyone happy, I'll be safe. It's not weakness, it's wiring. The nervous system literally associates conflict with danger, activating the same stress response as physical threat. That's why saying no can make your heart race or your stomach drop. Your body's been trained to keep you in approval mode.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I struggled with, was saying no for a long time. I always wanted to go above and beyond and to help others, but you just learn after a while that there are some things you have to know your limitations,
Right.
and what you're willing to accept, and what you're not willing to accept.
Yeah. So in entrepreneurship, people pleasing disguises itself as good customer service, but it's really fear wearing a friendly smile. Saying yes to every opportunity, even bad fit clients, undercharging or giving discounts you can't afford, answering emails at midnight because you don't want to seem unavailable, or over delivering so much that you burn out.
A 2023 business survey showed that 64% of entrepreneurs admit to taking on projects that they didn't want to out of fear of disappointing someone. And that's not strategy, that's survival.
Yeah. I mean, I think I do this pretty regularly where what's coming to mind is there was a client a couple weeks ago who had already agreed to accept a settlement, and then started calling the office demanding a fee reduction. And we're like, look, here's the contract. He was saying he never knew, he was never told. And we're like, here's the contract you signed. Here's all the things that we've been sending you, all these things. But he was and then he starts calling names and starts just threatening things and just going really overboard with his threats. So I had to make a choice. Do I stand my ground and say, and I mean, the fee we were charging was very reasonable under the circumstances, but I also have to think, what's more important to me? Do I want to fight this fight with this guy,
Right.
or whatever? So something that I found that makes me feel a little bit better is I don't give them what they're asking for, but I sometimes will make some compromise. So for him, he was asking for a certain percentage reduction. I didn't agree to that, but I agreed to a lesser reduction. And that he seemed to be okay with that because he felt like he got something.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't as much as he wanted, but he got something, and so he stopped with the threats and the harassing, name calling, etc. And I felt okay because he was good,
Mm-hmm.
and so I my point is that sometimes that can be a strategy. Rather than just giving in, try to come up with something that is a small concession, but not something that is just giving in.
Yeah, I really like that. That's great advice. When it comes to social media, sometimes having a scheduling tool can be extremely helpful, but with so many different options, it's difficult to determine which one is best for your needs as well as your budget. That's why we created the Social Media Planner Comparison Chart.
Then you can look at all the different options and choose the one that's best for you. For your free copy, visit missbiz.com/contact and simply type into the subject line Social Media Comparison Chart.
So some real life examples and celebrity stories of people who have dealt with this. One of them is Selena Gomez. She's spoken about her years of trying to please everyone, fans, managers, friends, until it wrecked her mental health. Her healing began when she started saying no and prioritizing peace.
Another is Adele. Adele said that earlier in her career, she said yes to every interview and collaboration because she feared rejection. She later realized that setting boundaries actually made her music and her life better.
Just a little side note, did you know that Adele actually has really bad stage fright?
I did not know that.
Yes. So she actually is petrified of going on stage, or at least she used to be. I saw some video of her talking about it, and how like when she goes out on stage, she just like trembles in fear, and then when she comes out, she just has to like isolate herself for a while, which is crazy because you think of like a huge worldwide performer like Adele,
Right.
and still going through like that kind of struggle.
Yeah. So here's what people pleasing really costs. It costs your time. You spend hours doing unpaid work to prove your worth or to make someone happy. It costs your energy. You're drained because your nervous system is in constant alert mode. It costs your creativity. When you're focused on others' approval, your own ideas shrink. And it costs your confidence because you start doubting your instincts because you're tuned to external validation.
Studies show that chronic people pleasers experience 40% higher burnout rates than those who maintain healthy boundaries. And burnout doesn't just steal joy, it kills innovation. And I'm sure it like creates a whole bunch of stress, and with that comes additional problems.
Right. So here's how to break the cycle. First is like so many things. It's just shifting your mindset. So you have to reframe boundaries as bridges, not walls. So boundaries protect your best self so that you can serve others better.
You know what my business coach has me doing is he has me putting down like the things that I am not going to accept, like my boundaries, and then like on the other line item, like my course of action. So if this happens, this is what I'm going to do, and if that happens, then this is what I'm going to do, and this is where I'm going to funnel them. So that might be a good activity to incorporate.
Yeah, so before the challenge even arises, you have a plan in place so that when it comes, you know exactly what to do and you're not getting anxious about being uncertain on how to deal with it. I like that. So another mindset shift is to redefine kindness. True kindness includes honesty, even when it disappoints others. So kindness isn't always just giving of yourself until you are exhausted. It can be, telling the brutal truth, but this is where also your influence mastery comes in, because I feel like there are ways that you can have any conversation, no matter how difficult it may seem, but still do it from a kind, loving perspective, and still have difficult conversations in a respectful, controversial way.
Yeah, agreed. Also, you can remind yourself that disappointment does not equal danger. When you say no, you're not unsafe, you're being authentic. And I think that this one is truly key, because not every client is a good client or a good fit. Not every project is going to be a great fit either. Even if you have the skills, qualities, and capabilities to do it, if it's low-hanging fruit, then it might not be in your best interest. Maybe it would be better to refer that one out. Or maybe if it's something that you could learn how to do, but you're not actively performing that kind of work, then again, also something good to sub out.
Yeah. So here's some practical strategies. You can create red flag client criteria. Know who you won't work with and why. I mean, these are pretty easy to spot, and I can't say that I've turned these people away even when I see the red flags. Like, I haven't really gotten very good at actually saying no to these people, but the red flags I see are when they are asking me to rewrite the contract up front. I mean, we have the same client contract we use for every client, and when someone's like, I want this line changed, I want this line correct, like I want something different here, like, then it's just a red flag to me that this person is going to be difficult through the whole process, and I have to sit and think, is it going to be worthwhile, or is it better to just let them find someone else who might meet their expectations better?
The next option would be to package your offers clearly. Clarity prevents over-delivering and awkward renegotiations later. So I completely revised my contracts to include that these were the amount of client meeting times. So whether that be 3 hours a month, 6 hours a month, for whatever package it is, any other hours would be billed at this rate, because the issue that I was having was that clients were texting me and calling me at all hours of the evening, day, weekend, which is fine. Like, if it's an emergency, absolutely, like, I will be there for you and help you. But not everything's an emergency.
Right.
So that's where you have to have those boundaries in place, and that's why I made it part of my contract, so that people would be aware that if additional time was going to be needed, then there would be a additional cost.
Yeah, that's good. Another way to a practical tip on how you can improve your people pleasing is to write boundary scripts. So, for example, I'd love to help, but my schedule is full. Let's revisit this next month. So, yeah, I think this is kind of in line with what your business coach recommended for you, that you have that script ready to go.
Yes.
So that it doesn't cause stress on you when that issue comes up.
Absolutely.
Finding guests for a podcast can be difficult sometimes, so Brooke and I wanted to let you guys know that we are available to appear on your podcast. We also enjoy speaking at events, so if you have an event coming up, these jingles can go on the road.
Simply go to missbiz.com/contact, and in the subject line, write podcast guest or event speaker, and we'll reach out to you to further coordinate. The next thing would be to automate your responses. Use templates for inquiries, client requests, so that you're not making emotional decisions under pressure.
And package your offers clearly. Clarity prevents over-delivering and awkward renegotiations later.
So some emotional healing practices are some journal prompts that you can do. So you can ask, what am I afraid will happen if I say no? And what would honoring myself look like here? You can also do body check-ins as well, where you notice where you feel tension when people-pleasing urges rise. Your body temperature keeps score.
Yeah. You know, for me, when I ask myself, what am I afraid will happen if I say no? A lot of times the people that would make most business sense to say no to are these like freebie, we call them freebies, these like free work that we do for people, like we write demand letters for them, or just if they're having an issue that a letter on a lawyer letterhead might help them with, we write those letters for them free of charge. And sometimes we can get a lot of these freebie requests in a week or so, and it takes a substantial amount of time to write the letter and then follow up and do the back and forth and all the things. And so if I ask myself, what am I afraid of if I said no to that, it's really that those people aren't going to find another lawyer anywhere else, because it's not something that another lawyer would take on. They might be able to pay some money for the lawyer service, but a lot of times the issue they're having is not, it doesn't make sense for them to pay more money to a lawyer to just get back a small amount of money, if that makes sense. Like if you're in $1,000 dispute, you're not going to spend $1,000 on a lawyer,
right,
to write a letter, or even $500 to write a letter. So for me, it's always, no one else is going to help him, and I feel like I can do it without it being too much of a burden on the firm, and so I keep doing it. But there may come a time where I have to be more selective on these because sometimes there are a lot that come through several times a week, and it takes away the staff from their other responsibilities, and then they can get behind on our other clients.
Right. There's some therapeutic tools that you can use to help you as well. So EMDR is one of them. Also, coaching can help you rewire the approval equals safety response.
So when you set boundaries, you don't push people away, you teach them how to respect you. Boundaries create space for your creativity, your energy, and your best work. They also attract clients who value your expertise rather than exploit your kindness. Remember, your yes means nothing if you can't say no.
That is so true. So if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. You are not selfish for setting boundaries. You are sustainable.
The people who truly value you won't leave when you honor your limits. They'll respect you more.
So today, choose one small boundary to reinforce, whether that's closing your laptop at 6 p.m., saying no to a draining request, or raising your rates to reflect your worth.
If this episode hit home for you, share it with a fellow entrepreneur who gives too much, loves too hard, and forgets to fill their own cup. Also, remember to please leave us a review. Apple Podcasts or Spotify are the best places to do that.
We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found Miss Biz helpful, please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at Miss Biz Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltzlegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltzmedia.com. Let's get biz done.